Resident Evil 6.
I did this.
What are you talking about?
Resident Evil 6 takes place a few years after the events of Resident Evil 5. A terrorist organization known as Neo Umbrella, yes, Neo Umbrella, as dumb as that may sound, is threatening the world with a new strand of the T-virus dubbed the C-virus. Now it's up to Leon, Chris, and newbie Jake and their respective partners to avert global destruction. You can choose to tackle any of the three campaigns, each with their own story, interweaving between the other two. It's your typical over-the-top, crazy, convoluted malarkey that you're used to. Only this time it's more coherent, better acted, and actually touching at times. Leon's campaign is a bit more methodical, where he's trying to figure out the truth. Chris is kind of a bombastic kind of war movie. And lastly, Jake's campaign is a action thrill ride with a bit of romance and snarky attitude mixed in for good measure. The overall story lacks a few punches, but it's one hell of a fun ride.
Now each and every one of you may be ready to die for our cause, but it's my job to make sure we all get through this alive.
Each campaign differentiates in tone, but they ultimately play the same. Leon's harkens back to classic Resident Evil, Chris's is an action thriller, and Jake's has a heavy emphasis on running a la Resident Evil 3 and the Nemesis monster. Each character is set with a partner whose AI has tremendously improved from Resident Evil 5. Also, you can play with a friend via online co-op or on the couch. They've also improved melee combat to an effective alternative now, along with ditching gun upgrades for skill attributes. For example, you can upgrade your melee attack power, or your weapon attack power, your defense, effectiveness against zombies, etc, etc. Overall, the shooting feels great, but the aiming and cover mechanics could have used tweaking. The worst parts of the game are its attempts to mimic other games, like adding vehicles and stealth mechanics that, while frustrating, they never outstay their welcome. And don't get me started with all those QuickTime events. It says a lot about a game, however, if small stuff like this doesn't deter it from being super fun and super addictive.
I'm not here to hire you.
What? Why are you here?
Your blood.
If there's anything about Resident Evil 6 that cannot be denied, it's the graphics. The detail in the characters, monsters, and environments are mesmerizing beyond belief. As I mentioned before, the voice acting is really good despite its cheese, and the soundtrack, while not memorable, keeps you enthralled for all those heart-pounding set pieces. The game is packed with extra content from numerous unlockables to the co-op and mercenary modes. If there's anything I have to knock about the presentation, it's that the game is way too dark. Also, overall on all specs, it could have just used some polishing.
I'm going to tell them everything. Everything we know about the Raccoon City incident.
Resident Evil 6 is a huge ambition and very different game for the series. Because of that, it seems to turn some people off. Yes, it's not like the old games, but so what? They at least tried something new, even if it was just mashing other games together. It's not a perfect blend, but it's a mix that's delicious and sweeter than it is bitter. For Leon's campaign alone, I seriously think it's worth a shot.
Always something with women!